As ever, 25 seconds of work, 10 seconds rest, repeated, and we're taking 5-minute blocks. We've got a 10-second lead in and we're going to start out with our squat. So starting off, regular squat, bending at the hips, sitting down into our squat. Knees stay out, tracking over the toes or tracking towards the toes. We don't need to come too low in here, we're getting the body warmed up first of all. I've got my hands here in my usual guard position. You can use them as a counterweight or a counterbalance, bring them out in front as you sit back, and bring them in or down as you straighten up. We're down to the floor. Hands to ankle, right arm, left leg. Keeping the lower back pressed into the floor or pull down into the floor. Inhale as we lower down and exhale as we bring arm and leg up together in the center. Almost there. And we're back up to our feet. This time we're bringing in a little bit of rotation into the squat. Leading with the elbow, we sit down into our squat. As we come up, returning. Release that heel, so if your right elbow is traveling, your left heel, or your right heel, same side, comes up off the floor. So same heel comes up, that lets you get the hip around, lets you get mobility in through the side, hitting the obliques, warming the body up for what's coming next, which is the same again, only we're going to add opposite arm and leg, so left arm, right leg. We're not adding anything just yet. So keeping the core engaged, zipped up slightly here, that's the lower part of the stomach. Inhale as you lower down, exhale up, keeping control. So we're back to our squat. This time bringing in a knee raise. We sit down into our squat, and as we come up, we bring up the knee. Switching sides. And we want to get this knee up nice and high. Work with your own range of motion, it's not a competition. And each time as you bring that knee up, you're pulling with the lower abs on the same side. Now we're back down to the floor. This time we start our legs in a tabletop position. So knees are over the hips, arms are out wide. From here, keep the shoulders on the floor, lower the knees to one side, and exhale to pull. Bringing them back to the center. Same thing other side, keep the shoulders down. Exhale as you pull. Inhale, lowering down. Exhale for that pull. Now we're back up to our feet. When you exhale through the pull on those, it helps tighten and engage the core muscles. Squat with rotation. Lots of rotation in here today. Well, it's a core hit, and all those rotational muscles around the core, they're going to know that you've been giving them some care and attention today. Lovely. Last time to the floor, and then we're warmed up. Windscreen wipers again, exact same thing. We inhale as we lower down. Then exhale, pull from the side here. That brings the knees up to center. Keep the shoulders down. That matters more than dropping the legs all the way to the floor. You work with your own range of movement. If you can go to the floor and keep the shoulders down, that's great. But if you can't, you work through a shorter range of movement. And you heard the buzzer. Time for a sip. First section, done and dusted. Nicely warmed up, nicely mobilized. So next section, we're down onto the elbows. Hands and knees first, down to the elbows. Walking the toes out a little bit. We're on our elbow plank, elbows straight onto the shoulders. We're starting with the knees down. Now I want you to think of tucking the tailbone. So that's zipped up the lowest part of the core and squeeze there. So keep holding there. You're getting a nice challenge. Now squeeze the cheeks as well. Really amplifies it. We've got 2 seconds left. Relax. So we're going to add on to that for our next round. We're going to start the same position, so get ready. You're on the knees, tuck the tailbone, zip up the core, squeeze the cheeks, and now for more of a challenge, lift the knees off the floor. You're up on the toes, keep the cheeks squeezed, clenched butt. Pelvis and tailbone is tilted, and you're zipping up those abs. 3 seconds, 2, 1. Well done. We're onto our butt. We're going to do a little balance. You're going to hinge back slightly at the hips. We're going to lift one foot off the floor, hands together, elbows slightly bent, and we rotate. And to the other side. So you've got one leg lifted, and we're turning the shoulders and head around from side to side. That lifted leg is bringing that lower abs or lower core into the movement. Sit up, give the knees a hug. This time we're going to lift the other leg. Get ready. Hinge back slightly, lift that foot. Think of inhaling as you twist to the side. Exhale as you pull back to center. If you want to challenge yourself more with this one, you can take both feet off the floor. Give the knees a quick hug. We're over to our plank again. Okay, here we go. Planking. We're on the elbows. Tuck the tailbone, squeeze the cheeks, zip up the abs, and lift the toes. Sorry, lift the knees. You'd think by now I'd know my knees from my toes. Keep everything zipped up, keep it all tight. 10 seconds left here. Remember, elbows straight onto the shoulders. If your elbows are out in front, that's going to be a different exercise. If they're back here, if the elbow's back here, you're going to feel it more in the front of the shoulder. So we're back up again. Same thing. We've got the tailbone tucked, butt squeezed, stomach zipped up. Now, I'm going to take one hand off the floor, reach to the side. We're trying to stay fairly level. So you're going to want space between your feet as you do this. That will help you to stay level. If it's too much, come back down to the knees. There we go. We're back over. More of our twists. So pick a level. Both feet on the ground. If you were struggling last time, one foot up or both feet up. Exhale to the center. Key things here. We don't want the legs wobbling too much from side to side. We want controlled movement. If you're sitting up too straight, if you're sitting up here, you're not going to get much from this. And we're down onto our back. Windscreen wipers. Here we go. Inhale down. Exhale up. Strong pull from the core. So the movement starts with the exhale. That helps you tighten up those side abs, the obliques, that join the rib cage to the hip. They come down at an angle. And that's why You may find you're sliding upwards or downwards on your mat when you're doing those ones. Those muscles pull at an angle. You know what that sound is? Section 2 is done and dusted. Our rotation and counter rotation. Have a sip. Just a little sip. I'm going to move my mat. We're going to get the heart rate up. Core cardio. So, core cardio. We're bringing in lots of knees. We're in a front stance. Right leg forward. Knee comes up, we step back. So we're going nice and quickly through these. We're using that powerful movement. We've already brought the knee up in our squats. So there's a little bit of balance here because we're spending so much time, all our weight supported on that right leg. Except this round it's going to be all supported on the left leg. A little bit of balance, a little bit of core, and it gets the heart rate up. If you're struggling with the balance, go wide with your step back. If you want more of a challenge, come back straight. You'll be inclined to fall over. So you really got to work those abs hard to keep in control when you're on that straight line. Just about. Okay, neutral stance. Knees are slightly bent. We're going to do hooks, 2 on each side, and switch. So the hook is a circular punch. The elbow follows the hand at the same level. Keeping our hands in our guard position in here, close to the jaw. Lovely. Nice and handy. We're going to add a little bit more power in those hooks this time. Alternating, 1 each side. From here, we hook, we turn, we pivot on the foot. That back foot lifts, the back heel lifts off the floor. So we're loading through the core as we drive that punch. We're loading the core from the hip to the shoulder. Lovely. Now, we're going to bring in the knees again, bringing the arms in for the knees. We're pulling down onto the knee. We're staying on one leg. So as I pull down, I'm using my upper abs to initiate that pull, using the lower abs to pull that knee up. Hands are coming down across the body as if to hit your own butt. So we're not smacking the thigh. Don't want to give yourself a dead leg. Hit the meaty bit in the butt. Same thing other side. Hands are up high. We're using the upper abs. Think of the forearm finishing across the stomach here. That's how you know you're getting those good strikes in. You know you're getting the power in with the arms and the upper abdominals. Again, exhale. That contracts the core as you do that strike. Now we're back to our neutral stance. We're getting punches in. We want strong and fast. So we're hardly spending any time in the neutral stance because we're flowing from one punch into the next. Almost there. Wasn't that fun? Okay, once more with our hooks, flowing from one to the other. So we're not just standing here waving the arms around. The punch is coming through the whole body. And it's a close range punch. The hand is only a small distance away from your own face. If someone gets too close, that's where the hook comes in. Take them out of it. Speaking of taking things out of it, time for me to take some more water out of this bottle. You do the same. Just a sip. We're back to the floor. Starting with our Pilates tabletop. You're gonna love this bit. Love, hate. Anyway, tabletop. Lower back printed into the floor. You can relax the head down too. Knees are over the thighs. Thighs are over the hips. If it feels easy, check your knee position. Go slightly away from yourself. Straight away you'll notice a difference. If it feels too hard, bring your knees towards yourself a little. Again, you'll notice the difference immediately. Relax the feet down. That's always the first thing to do with your tabletop. Find that sweet spot. And we're back into it. Lower back, pull down into the floor. Abs are contracted. They're engaged here. Now we're going to take the shoulders slightly up off the floor. We're not crunching the chin down onto the chest. We want to keep the head a little bit relaxed. We've just about got the shoulders lifted. And we're staying here. Check in with your knees. Are they so far away that this is really tough? Are they so close it's pretty easy? Should be over the hips. We got 5 seconds, we're coming back in, we're going to build on that again. Here we go. Tabletop. Shoulders up. Now we're going to get sides in. We're reaching with the fingertips like we're trying to reach past our heels. Now unless you're Stretch Armstrong, you're not reaching past your heels, so don't worry about it. We're reaching that direction. And by reaching, actively reaching for like really proper effort here, that gets you in all along the sides. Contracts a corset muscle. Relax down. Corset muscle known as transverse abdominis. It's a deep muscle. Keeps everything held in place. Ready? We build on that. Tabletop. Shoulders up. Reach with fingers. Stretch out one leg. Bring it back. So when you stretch that leg out, think of your shin and your calf muscle being beside the other foot. That's where you want to be. It's not going low, it's not going high. Roughly 45-degree angle. Keeping the shoulders up, keep reaching through the fingertips for the last couple of seconds. Give the knees a hug. Helps the stomach to relax. Before we go again, tabletop, reaching with the fingers, stretch the leg away. This time we're coming lower. Inhale down, exhale as you pull the leg back to tabletop. We're almost there. Last 3 seconds. Keep the lower back pulled down into the floor. Give the knees a hug. Coming over to our side plank. We're on the elbow. You can be on the knee or you can be on the feet. If you're on the knee, keep it there. Make it a little more challenging. Take the top leg up. If you're hardcore and you just want more, both feet on the ground. Top leg always in front here. Elbow straight underneath the shoulder. Hips pulled up away from the floor. Like a crane attached here onto your hip, pulling you up. There we go. Other side. Exact same thing happens. Elbow starts under the shoulder. You can start on the knee here. Get your straight line through the body. Don't bend or hinge at the waist. Take that top leg up, or other option. Top leg is in front, bottom leg is out the back. Again, pulling using all the muscles on the underside here. They're all pulling the hips up away from the floor. There we go, side plank's done. If we're lucky, we might have time for one more in this round. Maybe. Way! More tabletop. We're going to really go for reaching upwards this time towards the toes. Really contracting the abs hard. Now stretch, reach with the fingertips. Let the arms come down, keep reaching past the heels, allegedly. But keep trying to reach past the heels. Core is on fire. Give the knees a hug. And you can rock gently from side to side, giving the muscles along beside the spine a little massage. Whimpering is optional. Sticking voodoo pins in your voodoo doll of Mal, that's allowed. But we're back onto our feet before you do that, because it's time for a sip. Next round is standing core. A little bit of balance going on in here as well. Going to start out with hands loosely, fingertips on the head. Shifting the weight onto one foot, other knee comes up to the side. Stretch the leg out. Bring that knee up again. Stretch the leg out. So right now you're feeling the muscles here along the side, that's what's doing the work. Stretch the leg out. Trying to stay balanced here as well. So focus your eyes on something that isn't moving and release it down. Get ready, same thing other side. Fingertips on the head. Shift the weight. Knee turns out, comes up, stretch the leg. So it's really working up along through the side here, the love handles. Stretch the leg. Working the balance. So supporting leg there is doing a lot of work. Now we're going to get the heart rate up a little bit again. Squat with a knee to the opposite elbow. So got their hands up, knee comes up towards the opposite elbow. So the movement here looks like the knee is going towards the elbow. But what's really happening, and this is the bit that really interests us, is what's going on inside the body. So inside the body, the hips and the ribs are being drawn together this way. On the opposite side, here. So that's what we're doing again. Same thing, alternating sides. Crunching the ribs towards the hip. Crunching the hip towards the ribs. So you're pulling up with the lower abs and crunching down with the upper abs. Hitting the sides as well, because you've got that little bit of rotation coming in. This comes from the hips. Okay, a little bit of movement. Step and punch. So we're going to start out. Left leg forward, right foot comes in, goes wide. We drive a punch with the left. We step it back and repeat. Come in, out, drive that punch. So we're drilling the movement first, then we add power. So the step comes across, switching sides. Your step comes in, this time left foot comes across to the right, comes out wide, and I punch. So in, wide, punch. So this comes from karate, style of karate called Wateroo, which is all about avoidance and avoiding conflict. But if you couldn't avoid it anymore, then being able to defend yourself. So this step can help you avoid being tripped, or it can maybe detract a bit of attention away from what it is you're actually going to do. We've drilled the movement, we're going to add power. So starting left leg forward, step in, out, add that speed and turn the hips around. So we want to get that core engagement in through that punch. You can leave the punch there for a moment before you pull back hard. It's like a piston. Bring it back. And switch legs. So as you can see, the mat is twisting. That's from the torque coming in as I turn the foot. Step and drive that punch out. In, wide, bang. So the hips are turning around because I'm coming up on the toe of that back foot. So from the side, there we go. Now, we're going to get the heart rate up again a little bit. We're going to build on the knees we did earlier. Was that the buzzer I heard? Next time, we're going to build on those knees. Because for today, the hard work is done. So grab your bottle of water, take a sip, keep moving. Finished on a gentler note today. So your heart rate and breathing should be back to normal pretty quick. But next time, when we can really build on that step and punch, we can get lots more in there. Lots more to hit the core, hit round the sides, the love handles, all the awkward bits. You heard the lady. For today, activity is completed. Well done. See you next time.